We're now upstairs in one of Jonathan Stein's projects that you bought not too long ago. And what's really interesting about this project is you bought it, and as you were saying earlier, you've got sort of plan A, B, C and D. That's how important it is to have multiple exits whenever you're looking at a project. So can you just walk us through those exits and which exit you're now going to execute with this particular project?
Certainly. So, as you say, plan A was can I throw it straight into auction and make a profit, which, given the condition of what I paid for it and the potential end value, certainly can make a good profit doing that. However, with the tax changes that have been announced, I'm looking at, can I add value to the property myself through a planning gain, or it wouldn't be a potential title split actually, because I could do two flats. So I could get planning permission for two flats, create the two flats and sell them on, or potentially sell it on with planning permission, which effectively is step B or C, and step D is to keep the property and have it as a going concern, and main criteria in step D is that I get all of my cash back out. So if I was to create the two flats, I would comfortably be getting all my cash back out. However, if I kept it as an HMO, I will probably have to leave in around 25,000. However, given the potential cash flow of in the region of £1,500, possibly a bit more per month, it would still be worthwhile. Not something that I would usually consider, but given the new tax changes and the fact I'm having to look at potentially restructuring some things, I think in the long run it will be worth it. Obviously, 12-18 months, that money will be paid back to me from the rental income anyway. And later on, if I decide I want to sell the property, what I would actually then do is turn it into two flats first and then sell it at a significantly higher capital growth figure.
So it's really interesting how with your projects you run through all these exits. How important is it for you to have multiple exits when you buy a property?
If you run out of money, it stops you being able to do a lot of things. Yes, I like to think with my experience, I can always borrow money from other investors, which I have done, but at the same time it's also nice to be in a position where I don't need to borrow money. So for me, the absolute critical piece is, can I, at the very worst case scenario, keep this property and get back out all of the funds invested? And everything I've done to date has allowed me to do so. And it's only with this particular one that I might consider tying the funds up for a short period of time, because actually it works in this instance, and plus it's my own funds rather than borrowed funds.
And tell us, what do you think you will do with this project? You've mentioned splitting into two flats, you mentioned a HMO. Which are you leaning towards at the moment and why?
What I'm actually leaning towards is running it as an HMO initially, high-end HMO. It's in a good area, got the sort of town centre a mile down the road with the tube station, which is sort of 35-40 minutes into Baker Street, King's Cross area. And if I run it as an HMO, the work involved to convert it into an HMO is sort of 75% the same work that I would be required to turn it into a flat. Also doing that enables me to just crack on with it, don't have to worry about getting planning permission. I can extend through permitted development at the back and avoid having to pay any community infrastructure levy charges, whereas if I applied straight for planning permission for two flats before doing any work, those charges would certainly apply. So if I run it as a cash flowing HMO for however long, if I did decide to sell it in the future, at that point I would either apply for planning permission, which pretty much would just involve adding a staircase into the loft and creating a room in the loft, which I might actually do as part of the HMO. I haven't quite done the numbers exactly on whether that it's worth doing the extra bedroom, but I can delay that cost of works until at some point in the future, obviously, by which time the capital value would be higher as well. What I potentially could do is still apply for the planning permission to convert it into two flats and just leave it sitting there for a while and take advantage of it in the future.
And the work that you're talking about putting an extension on the back under
Yes.
permitted development, and the staircase, which is just over there, looking at moving it over here. And that's sort of the major works that you would do for either exit.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you say, the staircase would have to be moved from the middle of the property to the side. So it would actually make the room that we're in now a little bit smaller, because we'd have to create kind of effectively a wall almost where you're standing into this bedroom with a corridor going through into the front room. Potentially look at taking out the chimney breasts because they are quite deep. Again, whether it's worth the cost or not, I'm not entirely sure, but they do make quite nice opportunities to put some sort of flat screen TVs embedded within them as well. So that's the major work internally, plus, as you say, the extension, kind of similar. You can kind of just about see next door's extension that they've done there. So we'll be doing something similar on the side and going out back into the garden. And then the rest of it is just general cosmetic work, obviously new kitchen and bathroom, probably 2 small shower rooms as opposed to a full-on bathroom, because at the very least it will be a 5-bedroom HMO. And as I say, there is the possibility of creating a staircase into the loft to create a 6th bedroom and possibly a separate bathroom up there as well, which would definitely need to be done if we're at the point of creating a 2-bedroom flat.
What's really interesting is you still could sell it in auction. I know that's not what you're planning to do because of the tax changes. If you were going to sell it in auction, what would you do to a property like this? I mean, obviously it's extremely old,
Yes.
it's very dated. What would you do?
To be honest, I don't think I have to do anything.
Really, you'd leave it exactly as it is?
I'd leave it exactly as it is. It's very dated. The opportunity is clear. Sometimes the opportunity isn't that clear. What I potentially could do is get some drawings done of how it would work either as an HMO or 2-bedroom flats, and put them within the auction catalogue, possibly put them on a wall somewhere in the house so when people are viewing it they can see it, but not necessarily actually apply for the planning permission. Obviously the cost of applying for planning permissions is quite expensive. The cost of doing the plans, you're talking hundreds of pounds rather than thousands of pounds. So yeah, so I potentially would just do the plans rather than actually full planning permission, but in terms of I wouldn't really touch the property.
Fantastic. Jonathan, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for showing us around. Thank you for telling us all about the activities you're doing. We really appreciate it. This is a special interview for Property Investor News. I'm Kelly Lemon. This is Jonathan Stein, and tune in for the next Property Investor News interview.